People often confuse the terms weather and climate, but they're completely two different concepts. Weather is day-to-day changes in a certain region, and climate is the overall weather changes for a long period of time in a certain region. Like in the Arctic, the climate is cold, but there's daily changing temperatures and wind speeds. And in the desert, the climate is hot, but every day the temperature changes. So today I'm going to talk about how climate has an effect on our community, the world as a whole, and our animals. Now, some say that climate change isn't happening, but there is actually no factual statistics or evidence that climate change is not happening. So all those people who say that are basing their opinion off of opinion and not actual evidence. Unlike today, I'm going to present you with information that is based on factual evidence of why climate change is happening and is slowly killing our Earth. Now, I'm going to start talking about how climate change is affecting our community here in Iowa. You probably have noticed over the past recent years that there's been some major flooding since 2011 around us. And there's a main problem that's causing that, and that's climate change. Now, snow and ice are one of the big factors that is causing our rivers to rise, and there's a reason that those ice and snow is melting faster each year. Now, before 2011, we haven't seen any serious flooding like we have recently in the past 49 years. So clearly there's a problem, and that problem is climate change. According to Climate NASA, as you burn coal and oil, as we do every single day in factories around the world and our country, greenhouse gases are released into our atmosphere. And those greenhouse gases are trapped in the ozone layer, which causes heat to be trapped into our Earth, which raises the temperatures. And that, therefore, makes the snow and ice melt faster and gives us a earlier spring each year since it's getting warmer. Now, I'm going to talk about our world and how as a whole, it is being affected by climate change. So the sun shines cosmic rays and ultraviolet rays into our atmosphere, which heats up the Earth. The shorter the wavelength of an ultraviolet ray, the more solar energy that is put into the ozone layer. And in the ozone layer is where all the greenhouse gases are and where weather typically occurs. So that causes lots of problems for down below, like temperature changes, weather changes. And then the shorter the cosmic rays are, according to the Union of Scientists, the more particles and ions that are in the cosmic rays makes the temperature increase, which makes cloud formations different, meaning that the weather is different and the temperature is different for us down here on Earth. Now we're going to talk about how climate change affects our animals. Now the first animal I'll talk about is cheetahs. Now cheetahs are the fastest animal on the planet, and according to GVI USA, there's a study showing that there is lower testosterone levels in male cheetahs due to climate change, and that percent is 10% lower than your normal house cat. So that really changes the reproductive rate for those animals. And then the giant panda bear survives off of bamboo, and with higher temperatures, there's less bamboo for them to eat, so they are not able to survive. And then there's also green sea turtles. They live in the ocean, and they lay their eggs on the sand that's on land. And the higher the temperature of the sand changes the gender of the baby turtles. So the more higher the temperature, the more baby females are born, and then less males. So there's a really odd ratio of baby sea turtles, and therefore the reproductive rate is really, really low, causing them not to be able to survive. And then we have Asian elephants. Asian elephants need lots of water to survive on the daily. And with higher temperatures, water evaporates faster, and therefore they don't have a sufficient amount of water each day to drink to survive. And then there are polar bears that sit on ice caps in the ocean, and they hunt seals. And then with higher temperatures, there's no icebergs for them to sit on to hunt seals. So they have to migrate, which causes lots of problems for their reproductive rates. And then we have the Adelie penguins, and they also sit on icebergs, and they eat krill that lives underneath of the ice. And so since there's no ice, there's no krill, so those penguins have to migrate, and that also causes more problems for their reproductive rate. So now let's recap that we've talked about the effect of climate change on our community, our Earth, and our animals. I would like to persuade you to all trying to find a way to make a difference in climate change for our community, world, and our animals.